Hi everyone, Trina Phoenix here, and interesting. I love that sound. So obviously it's 2 o'clock in my reality, and we were getting ready to get to the very last part of this book, and it's the 12th stanza, the birth of the gods. So this is where we're supposed to go. So I'm really excited to read this part to you. And it's so funny. Remember I told you they're all numbered? The last one for this one, it's 111. Stanza 12, the birth of the gods. It starts at 111. And it says, a new whirlwind burst into the hearts of those who were walking in the vanguard of humanity. At its front lines, they accepted the current. They began to feel themselves responsible not only for the world as a whole, but for every human being in particular. They turned their attention to the people. First of all, to those who were lagging behind. The darkness was still making its influence felt. Ooh, there's a bug. Yes, my dog's in and out, in and out, in and out. And it's springtime outside in my universe. So they turned their attention onto the people, first who were lagging behind. The darkness was still making her influence felt. In the back rows, and ignorance reigned among the people who still bore the fearfully weighted load of the earthly deeds. I may have to deal with this situation. Oh. Me and nature. They want to land on me. Yesterday I had a hummingbird incident, which was quite profound. And I hope he's okay because I haven't seen him this morning. But hopefully he got back to his nest and he's chilling. So, oh yeah, he landed on my shoulder and fell into my hand. Literally. And I tried to put him in a tree and I tried to give him water and sugar water, and I put him by the fountain and I made a cage for him so my dogs couldn't get him, and he kept flying back and landing on me. And the last time he did, he landed on my bangs and floated down and was sitting on my nose. And I'm like, little buddy, you can't camp on me. I'll make you a safe house. I'll give you some sugar water. I'll give you time to regroup and recover from whatever your little trauma was. But this little hummingbird would not stop coming to me. It kept landing on my hands. It kept landing on my arm, like I'd put it in the strawberry plants so he could have shade and soil and, strawberries if he wanted and water. And, I'd put him in there and he would fly out and he would land on me again. I was just the cutest little thing I'd ever seen. I'd never had a hummingbird do that. It was really profound. So, yeah, I have this affinity with nature. And my daughter comes home and there's a hummingbird sitting on my finger and she's like, Mom, are you serious right now? I'm like, it fell out of the tree apparently and landed on me and now it won't go anywhere else. She just shakes her head. She's like, yeah, go figure. I was like, you know how this just happens. She's laughing because I've had birds come and literally just come sit on my knee. Wild birds, a wild white bird dove, literally flew in my back patio, hung out with me and 5 kids for about 35, 40 minutes. 3 of the kids went away. Me and my daughter were sitting on the couch and this bird jumped up on the couch, got too close to my daughter. She started freaking out, so then it jumped over by me and then it came and sat on my lap and it started fluffing its little feathers like it was going to take a nap. My daughter couldn't believe it. We took pictures of it and everything. I got pictures of the hummingbird, so maybe next video I'll put a picture of the hummingbird on my hand because I was hanging out with him all day yesterday. It was kind of cute. And then at the end of the afternoon, he was flying better and he took off that way. So I don't know where he went, but hopefully he'll be back. So yeah, I got me a new friend yesterday. So it was kind of cool. Trina's adventures with hummingbirds and nature of all kinds. It seems like they know I won't hurt them and they come to me if they need help. I rescued a roadrunner when I was a little kid. And everybody knows you can't catch a roadrunner. They're pretty quick. So yeah, I've helped a lot of animals along the way. And I rescued my Cody. He's a rescue puppy. So yeah, I didn't know if he was going to be able to make it. He was pretty screwed up when we got him, but he's turning out pretty good now. So yeah, okay, so on we go. Sorry about my little tangent, but I just had to explain to you. I've got this thing with nature going on. It's very, very weird. Okay. So, people were still, the people who still bore the fearfully weighted load of the earthly deeds, these specimens of the new man came to share the burdens of affliction and to save victims from the clutching hands of the darkness. First became the last, having made a commitment not to retreat until the last had become the first. As it grew ever harder to obtain new provisions of malice, either as food or as thought, the darkness aimed her most aggressive blows at the beacons, who were shielding the stragglers with their own bodies. They had successfully blocked the channel by which evil could still gulp down several dainty morsels thickly saturated with blood. The darkness attacked the light, trying to break through to the victims. But the beacons were adamant, and they refused to yield to the greedy pretensions of evil. The world was under the protection of light, vigilantly defending its own children and sheltering them with the imperishable shield of love. Eternal hymns to God could be heard, resounding from the hearts that were advancing towards the light. The world around them was gradually revealing itself with new illumination, dissolving the thick gray shroud that had previously cloaked them in gloom. It was as if the heart were expanding the boundaries of its domains, increasing its capacity to bear the light. Some people were finally purified through and through. These now resembled fiery spears, not unlike the sun. Their fiery white covers radiated never-ending currents of love to the world, spreading them day and night into every nook and cranny, literally transfiguring the entire world. Those who had successfully transfigured themselves now served the planet as a whole, augmenting her aura of pure, radiant light. The darkness kept growing smaller and smaller. Only a mass of inventiveness and insidiousness could save her now, as she vainly tried to find a secret hiding place where she could escape the burning rays of the hearts afire with love. The word of heaven carried the law within itself. For the very first time, it was actually honored. For the first time, it was recognized and fulfilled. The law of love applied to everyone. It presided over all other laws and constituted their fiery white core. It nourished all the others with its currents, and it alone was able to bring all the norms and rules of life into harmony with each other. This law of laws ruled the world, and there was none more just anywhere in the whole universe. I'm out of coffee. Okay. The solar disk began to lose the density of the tightly knitted strands of fire. He was undergoing a process of renewal, bearing a new inflow of waves of divine love. The gods transformed the visible, denser forms into the invisible, more delicate ones. The sun, it seemed, was taking on the quality of transparency, embracing a state of absolute calm and weightlessness. He observed how the earth was changing shape. She was also becoming more rarefied. While those who only a short while ago had been creeping and crawling on her without the strength to lift themselves or even stretch their limbs, they were now moving freely across her surface, their feet barely touching the ground. The dense, purified bodies had come through the period designated by evolution, growing ever lighter in weight. They were gliding like gods, who had once, they don't want me to tell you this information. Distractions are just flying. You go away, distraction. Okay. They were gliding like gods who had all at once found themselves on the earth for the first time. After all, the sons of God were the gods themselves, just as the Son of Man was also a man. A mystery was unfolding throughout the universe. Only the gods knew that their transfiguring power of love would do for the world. And that was perfect, for people wholly trusted their hearts to the Savior's and filled these hearts with unspeakable love for them. The word of silence was the chief means of communication. Oh, see? Silent protest is more powerful than even the verbal. This is crazy. I keep seeing this. It's like this information is so true and so powerful and so needed at this time. I didn't even know this was in here. The word of silence was the chief means of communication. As people's sensitivities became more refined, coarse speech gradually wore out its appeal and finally lost its significance altogether. People began to speak the language of the heart, the language of love. It did not need lengthy explanations, since it was simple and immediately understood. People had nothing to explain or prove. Everything in the world was pure and crystal clear. In this special state, people no longer had an overwhelmingly desire to speak. Their lips stayed closed for ages, as they were no longer needed. All the motives and aspirations of the soul could be expressed through your eyes, and the heart sun affirmed the truth of the Spirit, enveloping all with the caressing currents of divinely pure love. Love did not know words, and it never needed them, for she could speak only with the voice of the great silence, and people welcomed that speech with understanding. When they say she regarding the heart and the wisdom of it, they also say she regarding the darkness and the evil. So we need to understand this is the same being in its polarity. That's why we heal it and love it, because it's part of the other. It's like us and our twin flames, drug through into this dense existence and brought into polarity. It's the same thing. So it's how we heal evil. It's through love. It's like all you have to do is flip the switch, because in essence, it's the same thing. It's this powerful, the silence, and the power in silence, and the power of silence being the only other thing left is communicating through the heart. Because if they can't get through the mind, then the heart starts to speak. This is powerful information. The gift of the gods, the warmth of love, the gift of the heart, a tribute to divine love and truth. The world was aglow. In the fire there were born gods. They descended to the earth to receive the fiery baptism of spirit. The warmth of love embraced the planet, giving her a marked resemblance to the fiery white core of the sun. Like a blazing star, she shone in the vault of heaven. Now as a celestial luminary, generously endowing emerging life with the light of love. There, far away, dust condensed in the darkness, whirlwinds mingled with the currents, and a small planet took shape, capable of supporting life. And amid the multi-diversity of the shapes and the forms, a single note of love would hold a sovereign sway. The earth would endeavor to put into it all the gentle light of soul, so that this newborn speck would never know misfortune or affliction. It would never experience the tenacious pause of the suffocating darkness. Let the light hold sway thereon forevermore. Perhaps someday it would even become a star, and full of the fires of gratitude, would remain near the earth to adorn the firmament with a new little star. Then they would help conceive and give rise to another planet, and then another, and these planets would beautify, like a resplendent cluster, the infinite ocean of eternity. The gods would proudly look upon the bright fires of the new, enchanting constellation, blessing it with their divine vision of its highest labor, the labor of love. The colors of the day returned to the earth, imbuing it with the light of illumination. Man knew his future, for he had acquired divine insight, and the future he would have to create by his own hands. The gods were waiting for man to take a more purposeful step in their direction, and people were taking those steps. No longer did they stop and fall into a long and uninterrupted, heavy sleep. The future belonged to them, and they were creating in the rhythm of every instant of life. The great light of love illuminated hearts, shining like thousands of suns. They began to dazzle and gaze, all of the all-seeing eye of the sun. Now he was closing his eyelids to them, folding his fiery spirals which he had previously opened outward. It seemed as though the star were exhaling and then imploding. Inhale and exhale. This was the regular rhythm of life in the universe. The sun was collapsing in order to take a deep inhaling of the divine fires of immortality. This was his period, as designed by the gods who were rotating the wheel, to take in his next inhaling in accord with the rhythm of the universe. After absorbing billions of particles of the most varied forms of fire, he then would have to make an exhale in order to disperse these particles throughout the regions of the solar system assigned to them. People no longer spoke of the end of the world, since they knew that it had no end. They only spoke of the new beginning, and they were preparing to enter the new world, joining the sun in a powerful inhaling. Perchance, it would be so deep that for a period of time it would immerse them in a dreamlike state. But they would, of course, be awakened by the gods, who did not need or even know what we call rest. And the gods would lead them to their new triumphs, heretofore unfathomable, even by the infinity expanded human consciousness. But the hearts were enlightened, for the gods had already revealed to them the sacred mystery of life. A new day a new period of life. The gods opened wide the doors into the new stellar world. There was no evil there, though there may well have been a degree of imperfection, an excellent battlefield for the achievement of further victories. For gods also aim at self-perfection, polishing their sparkling diamond-like facets of spirit. They must indeed be purer in order to radiate more brightly the miraculous, magical light which is followed by their creations. The gods of earth created from the mortal human bodies. The facets of self-perfection are endless, and people must not lose their faith in the might of the gods, as well as those who will be following them, taking them for their guiding star, and everyone standing higher on the great ladder of light will be perceived as a god by those at a lower level. And the first shall descend and stand on the lowest rung to rise up the stragglers. Thus will it be forever, until the last became the first. All are gods. Was not that precisely what the gods were after? The gods who were rotating unceasingly the wheel of eternity, and was it not they who periodically descended to the earth to help the last become the first? They were the 7 of them. They had come to the earth at different times, and people ever since remembered their earthly names. Wow. Wow. And people ever since have remembered the earthly names. Wow. Today, no longer do those who once covered their own evil deeds by their sacred names of light go forth to kill one another. Now is the period to fulfill the law of the gods foreordained, to love one another as devotedly and purely as only they, the sons of the only begotten God, whose name is mystery, can love. To love, love and love, is heard in every rotation of the unceasingly turning wheel. To love until the end of time, which actually will not have an end. If you truly love, love is free, love is immortal, and she lives inside of you. A man of the earth, molded from the dust, die in the body and be resurrected in the spirit, for the immortal cannot die. Keep on ascending the great ladder of light, and stand up by the wheel, replacing the God who has grown weary without any rest. Perchance he too needs to catch his breath and make an inhaling and an exhaling through this time beyond the boundaries of the solar system. The wheel of eternity is in your hands, O immortal creator of the earth, who has perceived the sacred note of love bestowed by the gods. Now go forth and illuminate the path of salvation for the suffering world, weaving it from the bright and tenderly loving currents of the heart, and bring it closer to the feet of the last, and let him be the first, and replace you at the wheel of life. Thus, has it been ordained by the stanzas of love, granted by the gods, who are now rotating the wheel of eternity. Om Tat Sat is the last 3 words they put at the end of the book. Om Tat Sat. And then there's an epilogue at the very end of the book. The intersection of 3 times gives rise to a single octave, expressing the essence of the melody of life. 7 basic notes, 7 colors of the rainbow, plus 5 intermediate tones. Those are the 5 unseen they keep telling me about. They enable you to now hear and feel with the heart the great mystery of love. It sounds ever more distinctly in the world, penetrating all the spheres of being and non-being. The mission of our planet, being transpierced by the rays of love and wisdom, is to bring humanity forth in all its strength and glory, to rise like a radiantly shining star in the firmament of eternity. We are all being born anew, casting off our outward human skins. Humanity born in the fires of cosmic love and wisdom is immortal, and blessed be the stellar tribe that is shaping with the human hands and feet its predestined future for you. People of the earth are the greatest spirits, already prepared to stand tomorrow among the highest rung, a rung which only yesterday was occupied by the all-loving gods. And then after that, it goes into the glossary. And like I said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I thought this was just wonderful information, and it resonates so deeply with me. And it's the basic truth of what I was told that my mission was here on this planet, was to do just this, to raise humanity through wisdom, and that wisdom would come through reconnecting of your heart and reconnecting to the Kundalini energy and the intuition and those 5 hidden abilities that we all have: telepathy, kinesiology, remote healing, remote viewing, all these things that we can do that we have forgotten and lost. It's all starting to reconnect and come back, and many people are channeling, many people are making miracles happen with their hands and with their hearts. And this is why we came. We came to be those healers and those teachers and the truthers and the QAnons and all of it, we're in a tower moment. We are in a tower moment in our creation pattern. And this tower moment is going to bring many things down so they can be rebuilt. So this is the tower moment, and many of us are in it. And that's why I said the lines have been clearly drawn. The ones who want to destroy and harm and hurt, they're out there burning the buildings, and they're out there causing mass chaos in our world. And this is how we will identify them and how we will know who is who. So like I said, the lines have been drawn. We will clearly and evidently, easily be able to now recognize good from evil. And with that, more truth will start to be exposed. And that is the apocalypse. The apocalypse is the great revealing. So we are in apocalyptic times, and we, at this moment, are sitting in a tower moment with pandemics, fires, riots, potential war, all of it. This is it. So no fear. What we do is we see what we want to create. See the riots calming down. Seeing the people who are instigating them and starting them, they being arrested. They being hit with the violence and the chaos that they were producing and creating in our world. See it return to them. It's their creation. Let them eat it. It's that easy. This is how we win. And we focus on love. We focus on community. You see all these people out cleaning up the trash and helping repair the businesses that were being destroyed and looted. People are coming together. And this is America. And this is the new Atlantis. And this is what we came here to do. So when the chaos breaks, stay out of the way. Because the ones that are doing the chaos, they are the chaos. Everything should be very easy to see at this point in time and level of consciousness. So all you have to do is pay attention to what you're seeing, and it's evident. The ones that are chaos are creating the chaos. And yeah, people might need to stop their chaos because it harms people who are not in chaos. But this is all part of the apocalypse. This is all part of the revealing. Because like I said before, people wouldn't see this, but now people do. Everything is coming into focus, and we're starting to see the truth. 2020, high insight, perfect vision. You will start to see the truth. Just seek it, and you will see it. And I know some of it's hard to process, because the world is upside down and it's on fire. But purification through fire, guys. Purification through fire. Transmutation through fire. So this is a clearing and a cleansing. So we can put it into that creation point if we so choose. See these fires creating violet fire, purple fire, transmutation. That the fire is facilitating an awareness of truth. So we can use all of this to create a positive effect. You can use that energy to have justice felt by returning it to where it came from and saying, no, we don't choose this. Return to sender. and that could keep you in love, and you're not upset, you're not angry, you're not, because this is what they want. They want fear, they want reaction. This is what they want. And I saw what happened to that man. My heart literally started shaking inside of my body. It was so traumatizing and so upsetting to me. And now come to find out, it's like these people all might just be paid actors trying to get riots started and to try to destroy our nation and our beautiful communities. And, they burnt down some of the most oldest landmarks in Tennessee this week. And, you can't replace these things. They're going after our history and some of the things that we've preserved for hundreds of years. This is not our people, guys. So this ain't right. We need to see what's going on. This isn't us. So I see a lot of, there's reports surfacing of military shooting at people. Get in your house, stay out of the way. This might be what they're actually trying to do, is get us out of the way so they can take down the chaos, because the chaos is definitely there. So, and if we're not there and only chaos is there, guess what? Better chance to get the chaos and not hurt the good people in the process. So when the chaos breaks, if you're not part of that, get away from it as fast as you can and let the chaos go into its own self, because it will. Like attracts like. So, like I said, they found out that many of these people that were rioting were not from the area of which they were rioting in. So this is another red flag to pay attention. These people are being brought in from other locations to burn your cities down. So, just food for thought. So pay attention to what's going on. I love you all. Let the fire of truth burn bright. Let all the stuff that's going on represent more truth, more truth, more truth. We can turn all of that into a positive direction if you can see how it works. And that's a simple way to see it done. Every single fire that's going to create, it's going to release more truth and more wisdom and more transmutation of darkness and clearing away the evil that needs to leave the planet. See it as cleaning and purifying, and see it done in balance so it doesn't harm more than it needs to. So we're in a tower moment, and right now our imagination and our creation are going to be the strongest points of the firefighting team on this planet. So we need to focus on keeping things under control as much as we can and see it happening however your imagination guides you to it. I mean, like literally, you see absolute utter chaos breaking out in a city. See yourself with a magical fire truck spraying, water all over the entire city to start having people feel the frequency of love. And that will bring everything into balance. I mean, love works most everything out. So just do that. If enough people are doing that, the energy will have it'll have no choice other than to stop and start to shift. We've seen this over and over again. It's proven. If enough of us do it, it's simple. So it's like I said, you see these big headlines break out on the news. Get the information, see what's going on, and then it's our responsibility to just sit down and shift and transmute that energy with our imaginations and see a different outcome than what they wish to produce. So they want to produce chaos and fear. We need to send love and peace and knowing that we can overcome. And we do it with our hearts and our minds operating as one. So yeah, Trinity, know thyself and know the power. And the power, when you activate the power within you, you activate the Trinity, which is the pyre, which activates the fire. So that's the holy fire within you. So reign and rule through this holy fire and use the fires in the reality that we're seeing as a representation of the transmutation fires that are happening among the planet, releasing more truth, liberty, freedom, and love. And if we all keep focusing on that, we will see it. We will see it. It has no other choice. Just enough of us need to start doing it. So this is what we came to do. We came to be the way showers and the transmutation team. So we were here to transmute energy, not to we do it. This is how we do it. It's like they always tell me, they're like, remember, you don't save the world by, some people do actually physically go out and have to save the world and save people, firefighters, and they have to save people. But the majority of us came here to save the world with a focused mind and by the use of the imagination and literally using your power of creation, because creation is how everything is happening on this planet. And it's done through, like I said, connecting and literally throwing your energy where you want to see it. See, they're flashing you with negative images, and that affects you. So when you take that energy in, now you say, I transmute it, and I see this causing a positive effect. It's like, oh gosh darn it, somebody just crashed my car. But now the insurance paid it off, and now you have no more debt, and you actually got a way better car at a way better price with the same exact payment, with absolutely everything that you needed and wanted to sustain. And in the injury, you didn't get hurt. So this tragedy can be turned into a great blessing. It's like this horrible thing that happened to you that you didn't have any control of, all of a sudden now turned into this great gift. Like, wham, magic. Reversal. This is how we work it. This is literally, they're like, just flip it. See how like something bad can turn into something so good. Just keep seeing that over and over and over again. And this is like our main job right now, is to just keep transmuting this energy and seeing positive outcomes after one, after another. And this is like in the book they talk about their minds were filled with the fire of love, and no darkness could now enter in. This is how it's done. See, because they keep trying to drill you, get into your head, darkness, fear, And it's like, no, just transmute that stuff, flip it around, done. Yeah. That's how we win. This is literally how it's going to be done. The silent protest will be the most powerful protest. You guys saw what happened when we all meditated together. It's powerful. So this is what we're doing, and this is why we're doing it. And thank you guys for being a part of my tribe, and thank you for sharing and focusing and giving in all your different, beautiful, different ways and your different perspectives and your different beliefs. It's so magical. All of us are coming at it from different angles, and I see that as the fullness of God. So thank you, Soul Tribe, and thank you for all of your uniqueness and all of your differences. And oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, because this is our strength. It's through your eyes you see that what I can't, and it's through my eyes I see what you can't. And when we come together, we have the vision of all of us. So, and through that, we can access more than we had to before through our love and our communication and our communion with one another as a soul tribe. So, thank you, Soul Tribe. I love you all very much. And I will see you when we get back into Atlantis. We were getting close with finishing up Atlantis, and that won't take too much longer. And as soon as we finish up with Atlantis, we will be going into alchemy, and we will be going into the esoteric beginnings of the United States and the alchemical and the symbology and all the different things that went into the creation of the United States. It is very powerful. The mystical origins of the United States of America. So I think you guys are going to really enjoy this information. I thought it was profound when I first heard about it, and I haven't read it in this book yet, so I can't wait to see what they have to say about it. But I have a Manly P. Hall book that kind of explained some of that stuff in there. So, and I think some of the Manly P. Hall stuff came from the Saint Germain works. So they might be, I've read some of it before, but so this will be wonderful to get into with you guys, because it was like when I started reading some of the stuff, I was like, whoa, that makes a lot of sense. So hopefully you'll have some whoa moments, and you'll start to see why this nation has been so powerful. It's because of the way it was created and who was involved in creating it. So like I said, boy, did we have two powers of good and evil going on at that moment of time. But good won. So, and that's why we got the Constitution, and that's why it was the only national document that started out, we the people, instead of a king or a queen or a dictator. And was the difference. And that's a big difference. Like I said, 3 words, we the people. A trinity of fire in a different direction, from being governed to being sovereign. We the people. So it was a big deal. So yeah, we'll look into that. You guys get to see the gift of these documents and the struggles that were brought forth in trying to get them written and get them to us. So it was extremely interesting. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. It means more to me than you know. I feel your hearts, and you've filled mine to overflow, and thank you, because through your love and through knowing and connecting to you guys, it strengthens my ability to send more love out to all those that need it. So love begets love, and the more love I receive, the more I get to send. So thank you, because sometimes you make my storehouse overflow. So I do love you. Thank you. See you soon. Bye-bye.